Alright, some Dead Cells action. So, as you can see from the title of this video, this is my successful run of the King of the Hand fight. It took me a while. Actually, it didn't really take me a while. I had one run before this. So, I posted the video a couple days ago, and then I did one run right before this one that I just failed miserably. I didn't technically die. I did technically die. I had a revive, but I didn't want to play that run just because it was already stupidly difficult. So I restarted, and this one became a thing, and it was pretty fun. As you can see from the title, yes, I defeated the Hand of the King, and the hand is pretty tanky. And also this is still like not 100% confirmed for Dead Cells, but health scaling is a thing, maybe. No one really knows. I mean, they've been digging into the files or whatever it's called. And there's that little grenade switch I always do. And like, you can kind of see a flash on a boss's health bar, so it's like readjusting. At least you used to be able to. And that was just like health scaling, how many stat scrolls you get, like that thing I just got right there. And that one was just a generic scroll of power. And then there is other scrolls that I'll get into a little bit, but it's still kind of controversial in how the scaling works, and if it really is a thing. But it's pretty good, I gotta admit. The boss fights, the first 3 bosses now, I can beat pretty much every time, unless I just have the worst weapon ever. And that guy with the little star there, he has that scroll of power. That's how you can tell them separate from other guys. As I was saying, but yeah, the health scaling, the failed parry, it's controversial, and people are like, hey, is this a thing? Is it not? Are you guys ruining my gaming experience? Yeah, I'm not gonna get into that either. But I guess it is a thing. But like I was saying, first 3 bosses, I can defeat them pretty much every time. But Hand of the King, I fought him 3 times now, and I had to beat him on a 3rd try with a very strange build that somehow worked. But God, that was difficult. And I was very stressed out at the end of that, and I actually yelled out quite loudly. Not in, like the messed up kind of way, but I won, yeah. Let's not get into that. And so you'll notice that there's a cut in the middle when I go from the graveyard to the Sepulcher, just because it was lagging. And you see that I try to like just leave the game and then come back, and then I realized I have to close it. So I just closed the game and restarted the recording. But it's all the same run, so that's really what matters. And really, it's just proof that I've beat the Hand of the King, or as much proof as I can give. And also, I want to make stuff again. It was fun when I did it before. That's parry. And if people are going to criticize me and be dicks about it, go ahead. I'm not going to be bothered by that anymore. I will post what I want, and if it's edgy, then it's edgy. But it shouldn't be edgy. Something interesting about this part already, going back to Dead Cells, I haven't seen any scorpions. Like, scorpions pop up, you'll see them in a second here. There's one. Usually I have like 5 by that point, because pretty much every small little area, except trap rooms, have a scorpion in them that pop out of the ground, sometimes even 2. And I didn't see any until right here. See 2 popped up in that small area. So, and there's another one. A little secret area. If you see those like little holes in the rocks, that's always a secret area, and sometimes you have to roll through them. Sometimes you have to go down like that, and sometimes you have to go up. It's just depending on the situation. So as you see, I'm using the Balance Blade and a KO Shield here, which is actually a pretty good setup. Balance Blade attacks fast, KO Shield stuns enemies, and obviously provides the parry, which is very useful against just anything really. It blocks all damage. Projectiles get reflected back, like bows, arrows, grenades. Bows get reflected back. That's cool. I don't see that. No, arrows, grenades, and just like poison projectiles that the little scorpion guys shoot out at you. And they do, I mean, obviously they do poison damage, and they kind of suck to get hit by. And of course they have a tail. Because why wouldn't they have a tail? So that mechanic you just saw there, where I took that damage and then brought it back up, that's called the rally. And basically what it is if you take a hit, and then you have a few seconds to attack your enemies, like as much as possible, and you recover a bit of your health with that little rally mechanic there. And sometimes you might want to purposely take like low damage from like poison. Those little green pools, those poison you, which you've seen. And you might want to take damage for that, because you can rally that health back plus more. At least, I'm pretty sure you can. Right there, that was a Guardian Scroll. Like I said, I'd get into this more. I was confused by that 61% there. So there's 3 different builds. That room, that's still confusing. There's 3 different rooms, or 4 okay. I can't fucking talk. There's 4 different scrolls. There is the Scroll of Power, which lets you pick one of 3. There's the Assassin Scroll, the Guardian Scroll, and the Minotaur Scroll. The Minotaur provides Brutality, which is the red there. See on the weapons, the red? That's Brutality, so that increases my damage for those red weapons. And it also has Survival, which is the green with the shield. And it works... Basically, the way the game was set up is that there's, like, they want you to pick from 2 stats. Some people just go with 1 stat and skip others, which is kind of stupid. And see, that scroll was a Guardian Scroll. That was Tactics, little purple. You see that on the ice grenade there. The Tactics and Survival, which is, I mean, they're all good setups. And then there's the Assassin, which is Tactics and Brutality. And I haven't really been going Tactics that much recently. I used to just only pick it, then they changed health scaling a little bit, so Tactics is the worst for health, by far. And I mean, it was... Tactics still is godly, but since I'm just not very good at this game, I just pick something that will let me survive and do pretty good damage. And those 3 builds are what can set you up for the rest of the game and tell you what you need to do. And so, since I have 3 weapons with red and 1 with green, I went for the Minotaur build. Because Minotaur works pretty well. You get tons of health, that's your max health build. And you get good damage and just good reduction as well. Crowd control is alright with the ice grenade, it certainly helps. So that first mutation I got there, you see above the little numbers and the little orange flask, which is my health flask. There's a little heart. That is a free revive, and you can only pick it after you complete the first area. If you try to pick it in other areas, it's locked, even if you haven't picked it before. And those are mutations. So there's a little loading screen in the next area. It's pretty basic. It's a little symbol. This is the old sewers, by the way, if you didn't see that. And I'll get into those little guys, mushroom fuckers, in a minute. You should eat them. But yeah, the ice grenade works for crowd control, so if there's a lot of enemies, you just throw that out there. And it's obviously freezes them all. You see me use it right there. So let's get into that little mushroom bitch. It's about what he is. And he sucks to fight, because he's called a spiker, and he does exactly what it sounds like. He spikes the ground beneath you, and you have to get out of the way. And the worst time is when he does it when you're on top of him, trying to kill him. So then you're kind of fucked. You see me kind of confused there. That center room, I think I figured out what happened with the terrain gen, but it might have just been broken altogether. Because at the end of this area, I go back to that, and I like moused over it, and like, what the fuck? And I think I might have just missed a teleportation area to get to that, because I just saw that that's what it was. Alright, and then you see here, I have a choice of a Balanced Blade, KO Shield, and Hunter's Longbow. And I was really debating the Hunter's Longbow because it's really good, but against the Hand of the King, it's not, because he's like resistant to that. And the Balanced Blade used to be one of my least favorite weapons, but it has really grown on me just in a couple days with the quick strikes, then especially since I upgraded it, just to see how much better it could do. And so you see the Balanced Blade and the KO Shield there, two weapons I'm using, so you see me just kind of debating, going back and forth, and that's just the way I think. Like, I don't know what to do. So eventually I decided to pick both, because it's pretty useful. And the reason why I didn't sell that other Balanced Blade, I'm just checking the stat increase. The reason I didn't sell that is because, I mean, I can't. Since it's a starter weapon, you can't sell those. And the KO Shield was not a starter weapon. I got it just a little bit later in the prisoner cells, I think. So I think I test something here. Yeah, because I have synergies with parrying and whatnot. So see, I try to parry here. So, yeah. That was just my little guesswork at that. And when I kill enemies, the ground catches on fire. So it works pretty well if you also have an oil grenade, but I haven't unlocked that yet. And so when those little guys drop, the whole area gets set on fire, and it's beautiful. And I'm still just checking out the synergies here. And there's the spikers, and you just have to do everything you can to avoid them. That little green fucker that just flew after me, that's a kamikaze bat, and they do tons of damage to you if they explode. But you can outrun them, but it's kind of difficult to, and obviously, it's just not worth your time really, because you're more likely to screw up. So you should just take them out ASAP. You see me kill that spiker. Shockers are even worse. Not too bad. Old Sewers is one of my worst areas still. I die a lot here. My other video I tried to make, look at this trap. In my other video I tried to make, I died in Toxic Sewers, which is even worse. It was the area before this, and like, come on. Who dies in Toxic Sewers? Obviously me. Yeah, Dead Cells, this is a good game, and this is going to be an elite room. And so elites drop a few things. They can drop like a few weapons, and they can drop amulets, which I believe this one does drop. Yes. Okay, amulet 1 of the run. And then I do the flammable oil thing, which works with this fire I kept getting. So that little dive attack there, that was me testing out the oil. And it works well when you have hordes of enemies, because you can just kill one, and then dive attack, and then the oil spreads, and you can just stack up fire like crazy. And it does pretty good damage. And you see that really strange wall climb I was doing there. With the Balanced Blade, I was pretty confused about it, because I'd never seen that before. But the amulet gave me a triple jump, and I think the Balanced Blade sends you up just a tiny bit when you're in the air and you swing it. And also, I was like doing a wall run mix, Balanced Blade swing, mixed jump. And I just shot up the wall, and I should have tried it on one of the tall towers that you can get to. Not that. I didn't want to work there because you always grab that ledge, but the exit here is like a big tall tower. And it's, I don't know, it's pretty interesting. So for some reason, I forgot that I didn't have to pick stuff up and like drop it and then pick it up again to sell it or whatever. I had it on my mind that I couldn't do that. That third jump saved me from the spikes. I had on my mind that it was like a shot mechanic or something else. Oh, I was thinking of one of these hidden rooms, not this one, that you can go into. And it was just stuck in my head that that's how it worked with the change, the cell recycling. That's what it's called. And it just doesn't. So I was just being retarded. So as you can see, the old servers is pretty extensive. It takes a long time to get through here. Like, this run's already 10 minutes in. Game time, it's 15 minutes recording wise. It's pretty difficult. There's going to be 2 levels after this. One's a boss fight, and then the reset, like the cut. And so that's just going to be, that's just what it's going to be. It's going to be a cut, and it's going to get back to decent frames, and all in life will be good. And me avoiding that trap with a spiker going after me, that was ridiculous. My heart was pumping after that. This game is very nerve-wracking. Like, I get nervous whenever time I go up against a tough enemy, like an enemy that kills me a lot. See, I did it again. Or a trap area, bosses. This game messes with you. I mean, I have 45 hours into it already, and I plan to get tons more. There's a guy I watch, and he's got to have like 2,000 hours into this. And I kind of wonder how he's so good, and then I remember, wait, I've been playing for 45 hours, he's been playing for thousands of hours. And then you see me here, looking on that little middle area. Like, I don't know how you're supposed to get in there. I know there's a section I didn't explore, and maybe the teleporter was in there, but I mean, I don't know. Maybe I should have gotten checked it out. Alright, so here is the insufferable crypt. Seems unlocking the final health flask upgrade. Here is the last boss fight. I decided to keep my mutations, and this is actually, if you're going for like, if you're trying to live as long as possible and have a lifeline, this build right here is very good. You can get it from the very start of the game. All these mutations are automatically unlocked. And the one in the middle there, the ability cooldown reduction, is probably the best in the game, and you start out with it. Alright, so here we get into the Watcher fight. I use my grenades. I kept forgetting to parry in this fight. Well, I didn't really forget, I was just bad at it. There we go, there's a parry. And I use my balance blade, which I'm very happy with. So yeah, this is the hentai monster. It's got tentacles. So watch out. Don't let your family find your hentai folder. I mean your homework folder. What am I talking about? This is a very fun boss fight, but like, all jokes aside. The tentacles get stronger for each one you kill, and the next... See, I parried, except he didn't even hit me. But yeah, the tentacles get stronger the more you kill, so that's always fun. And there's a little aura of damage you can do. And I just wasted my grenades in this fight, at least my ice grenade. And then here we are to phase 4, technically. Phase 2 of tentacles. See, there's more tentacle, yeah, that's right word this time. And you see me trying to use that dive attack ability a little bit. Now the ground's on fire, so I can spread the oil. And the oil fire does more damage, so it's always nice. See, now the tentacles are getting fast. You want to be afraid of the tentacles, and that one is they have the swipe, which can really mess you up. But I had pretty good defense this fight. I mean, 1,700 health. I am losing a lot of it. I rallied a part of it back. I haven't used a single health flask yet, and there goes my first one. See, I should have parried there, and I parried like a fraction of a second too late. Too late. Too late. Boss is a little under half health now. You little bitch. I mean, like, alright. Who wanted to chain this floating eye? I mean, he's not just an eye. He's got tentacles and thorns and whatnot. Like, look at him. He's, like, look at the top there. It's chained into his body. So are the little links on the side. Like, what the hell? Who did this to this poor creature? He didn't deserve this. He didn't deserve to be, like, locked in this crypt. Because, you know, that's what it is. To use tentacles to fight people. Poor Watcher. I regret killing him. Not really. And a long time ago, actually just a few months ago, the Watcher was the last boss of Dead Cells, you know, at that time. And then when you go to the little end area, you would get killed by a tentacle, because at the end there was nothing left for you to do on your run. So you would just restart. I mean, look how fast the tentacles are getting. Look at that. I'm killing. Perfect dodge. He appears up one more time. Nope, this is the last hit. Yeah, you just get killed by one of his tentacles, and the game reset. And people try to come up with a lore reason for it, but when they added more bosses, that whole idea got thrown out the window. It was like the Watcher's last, you know, gambit. I use that word completely wrong. It's kind of funny how I actually beat the Watcher in the end. See me here using this cheap out mechanic to avoid his attacks. So I get this grenade off. Look how close he is to death. And I get even closer. Look at that. And I'm like, screw this. And I dive attack down. Watch this nice little death animation here. And so the Watcher and the incomplete one, once you defeat them, you can defeat them 5 times before they stop giving you blueprints. So I got another mutation blueprint here from the Watcher. And I go Graveyard, and this is when the lag hits. I have no clue why. I know the Graveyard is a bit more resource intensive than other areas. I'm taking a drink of Gatorade here or something. It does lag more, for sure. But the whole area lagged, and it didn't do that last time I did this. So once I completed that, I got into the next area, and it was still laggy. And I was like, okay, fuck this. So I restarted the game, and that's where the cut is, after this area. But only 2 health flasks on that boss. If I used all 3, I'd have been at max health. And my heart, you know, this little heart there, it still hasn't gone off, which is very good. And so I'll go over my mutations a little bit more. That was a little audio spike, sorry about that. So the first one there is that heart, and it gives you a free revive. I was just testing if there used to be a secret here, and usually once you get the secret, it is just replaced with gold, and it was just completely gone. So yeah, this lag is pretty rough, and I usually lag a little bit here anyway. I mean, God, that was just horrifying. And you need good frames to play this game, because you need to be able to react in time. And if you're lagging, you get hit on screen, but you've already been hit for like 5 seconds with heavy lag. But I unlocked that time door, so I got a couple scrolls of power, which definitely helped. And I was debating on whether or not I should go and try and get the Architect's key for this area. And then I thought against it. I was like, I'm recording. I'm just trying to beat a boss. I don't need to go do that. And I still haven't done it. Lazy. As lazy as ever. But I will do that next time I come here. So that little guy with the little lanterns there, thuribles or whatever they are, that is a fogger, and he covers the area with fog. There's another one. And he hides enemies. So if you're running through the fog, you get whacked one day, and you're just like, what the fuck did that to me? I have an army of bats on me. And they're pretty rough to fight. Well, the foggers themselves don't do any damage. But if you're trying to take out the fogger, and then you have other assholes like trying to kill you, it gets rough. And that catcher there, that's what that guy's called, God, I hate those guys. They just do too much damage. So you can see my stats there, and they got really weird placements of stat scrolls. Like, that's the third one here. I think there's like 5. Maybe. I don't know. In this area, you actually do need like 2 runes to finish. You need the Spider Rune, and then the Beliar's Rune, which is the one I just used right there where I break the rune. Spider Rune is the one where I just go up the walls. You checking out the new damage on that infantry grenade? Yeah, so you need a Beliar's Rune to finish the area, and the Spider Rune to get to the area. And I think we're going to start seeing the weird placement. Oh, that's where I pick up the Assassin's Dagger. So, the cool thing about the Assassin's Dagger is if you're hitting the back of an enemy, you do critical damage, which is about 3 times more than the average damage of the gun. Gun? Here's a weird scroll placement. No, it's a dagger. That's literally in the name. The assassin's gun. Sounds so stupid. So you see me there at about 4,000 health. That's alright for 0-star difficulty. That's probably plenty for... It is plenty for the people that are very good. Unlike myself. And here's where you need the Architect's Key. And then there is the secret that you unlock once you get the Architect's Key. So now I just go to like the second stage of the level, into the tomb, I guess. It's just an underground version of the level, really. And so you need that to get down there. Otherwise you're screwed. But to unlock the Spider Rune, you need the Beliar. At least, I think. Might just be spoken crack, I don't know. Yeah, so starts out, you get Vine Rune, you get Teleportation Rune, and I passed on that curse chest because they suck you have to get out the curse. And I'm actually going to see if I would have survived that curse. Because it gets 10 kills. And minions don't count. And I would have died. Okay. Those little bats are minions. From the bugs. Oh man, what was I saying? Yeah, curse chests. Those are pretty rough. Oh yeah, so Vine Rune, Teleportation Rune. Then you get the Beliar's Rune, so you can break through some ground areas. And the Spider Rune, which is like, basically at this point, if you've been using it for a while and you've adapted it, it's an essential part of your movement. It's just so much more efficient than climbing the little chains. I wonder how painful that is to climb a chain. Imagine that. This is just a chain. With close together links. God, that must suck. I feel bad for this guy, but he is a body controlled by a mass of cells, so. And there's dog barking. There's the final area. I go and get that Ivy grenade, but I don't think I keep it for that long. It was a pain to get. There's a lot of enemies down here. Yeah, my Assassin's Dagger throws out a little grenade. There's a little bug fucker up here. I ignore him. Wait, no I don't. I kill him. And his family. Oh god. And so now I decided to get the hell out of here, and this recording's ending soon. This first half. I guess it's the first half. There's really 4 areas left, 2 which are boss fights. But it takes just as long, I think. Because these areas are pretty big, and they take a long time to get through. The boss fights take a little while. So, Yeah, this is just gonna be the end of the first half. And then I just pick my weapons, my mutations. I don't have the health flask 4 quite yet. I am 4 cells away. So my oh, whoa, that was weird. Excuse me. My next run, I will have the 4 flasks, and that will give me even more wiggle room to fuck up with. Fuck. Alright, and then the lag in the graveyard is rough, and then I get into the Sepulcher, and it's just ungodly. Watch. Actually, it looks better on recording than it did in game. Okay, so yeah, I just go back to the menu and I try to figure stuff out, and it doesn't work. So I will see you guys into the next part. Alright, so we are back with the second half of the video. I mean, for you guys, it's not a break, but for me it is. That little run around to start there, that's just testing the lag, and that looks pretty good again. So I took like a 10-minute break, so I kind of forgot some stuff I was talking about. This is the Forgotten Sepulcher. I was just checking the time door. This area, it's pretty cool. It used to be one of the last areas of Dead Cells, and then they added more to it. Now it's one of the later ones, and it is quite difficult. See, I pass up on the tactics there, go for more survival. There's a little thing you could buy, the Nightlight, and that is if you're just so low on the little light aura surrounding you, and you can't find another thing, another little ball, you can use a Nightlight, but it takes a minute to recharge. So, and I didn't need to rely on it too much. I only took damage from the darkness once. That sounds really edgy. But, I mean, it's true. I only took damage from the darkness once in this run, because I was fast. And so, when I was talking about the little guy, little spiker guys, and I accidentally said shocker. Well, that thing doing the big aura, that's a shocker. And it ends runs. Those things are ridiculous. You can lose from them so easily. If they get a full hit off on you, especially if you take 2 times damage. And I also mentioned earlier, oh yeah, infantry to grenade 6. I'm like, nah. But I do take the new ice grenade. Yeah. Do I take that? Yeah, I do. The burning target's the same, and the bleeding is more. There is actual bleeding. Why didn't I take it? It's just okay. You know what? I think it had to do with one of the cool things I had on my infantry grenade. I don't know. Okay, back to what I've been trying to talk about since I started recording. During the Watcher fight, I mentioned about the boss drops, something about that, and I forgot to speak about the other boss drops, the Assassin and the Hand of the King. So the Watcher and the Incomplete one, who you haven't seen yet unless you've seen the game before. Incomplete one's the first boss you fight, then probably Watcher or Assassin. It's about equal, because Watcher is just a different route. And I think it pass and Crusher. No, I do take it. I toss the infantry grenade. Yeah. So the Watcher is like the second boss you'll fight, probably, or Assassin. Him and an Incomplete one have 5 drops, like 2 weapons and 3 mutations each, I think. And then you get to the Assassin, who has 6 drops. I don't know exactly what they are, but I think she has 3 or 4 mutations. And the rest are weapons. And I've only defeated her... I've defeated her 3 times now, I think. Not quite sure. Maybe... I know I've lost her 2 or 3 times. I think 3. So I think I fought her 6 times. And then, so she drops more than any of the other bosses. And currently, the Hand of the King, and that's per run. That's what I'm trying to say here. And the Hand of the King, I only think he drops one thing. Like, first run, he drops something. I don't think he drops stuff besides that. Here, I fight this elite. Oh, slashers. I wasted so much time with that. God, that assassin's sacrifice good. Anyway, and better amulet. Kind of. I take less damage, so that's really what matters. Yeah, Hand of the King, he drops a weapon, and you'll see that at the end of this run, because, you know, he completed the run. And I'm definitely going to lock it, because this weapon is really cool, and it's the one he uses in the fight. And one of those keys. And I saw it get used, and it looks so fun. I'll just say its name. It's called the Symmetrical Lance, so I might do a showcase on that soon. YOLO. Those little tracker guys, when they jump off ledges, they say YOLO, because, I don't know, Motion Twin is a weird developer. So yeah, there's not really much else to talk about in Dead Cells until I just get to the area, and I'm bad at avoiding those spikes. So there's other games I can talk about, and I want to talk about Slay the Spire. I know I've told a lot of my friends about it, and how it's addicting as hell, and it really is. It's Slay the Spire and Dead Cells. I'm stuck with like a little, you know, sped there. Dead Cells and Slay the Spire are kind of like roguelite games, but Slay the Spire is a roguelite card game. Just not something you see that often. And it's really good. I have almost everything unlocked. I can't wait for the full release of it. And I'll probably be doing Slay the Spire videos soon. I did a test recording video a couple weeks ago just to see how it works out, and it's going to be fun. You get to see me mess up the orders of things over and over again. And if I can, I might actually stream it, but I don't think I can. But if I could, I totally would, because God, that game has just the backseat capabilities of God. It's ridiculous. Yes, I really enjoy the Slay the Spire. I haven't played it much recently, but I don't know. It's just the aspects of it are so cool. I mean, it's a card game that when you lose, I failed that. You just restart. I mean, you do that for all games, but like this genre specifically. And here, I look at the KO shield and I go for that because upgrade KO shield is pretty good. Those little wackadoodles. God, I sound like I'm 60. Huh. And there, the darkness, it's gotten to me, guys. So I look for a portal because all teleporters have a light, and then I heal myself. And that was the first, and I think only health flask I popped. 8,000 health exactly. And then that room there, there's treasure at the end. The first time you find it, there is a blueprint for a weapon, and then after that, it's just money. And you have to fight 2 trackers, elite trackers, which I don't feel like doing. Alright, so now on to the clock room. This is the assassin fight I was mentioning. This is like a predetermined destination on every run, at least for now. They're adding a lot more stuff to this game. And this fight is very fun. I funnily enough, use the assassin dagger in it. 8,000 health, pretty good. Trying to parry a lot. And I learn more about the fight and parrying on this particular run. And so that crusher there, it does extra damage on a frozen target, which is pretty neat. See, that did actually a pretty big chunk of damage. It's hard to tell when you're just so into the fight and you're trying to look at, you It's hard to look at the health bar at blue damage. I parried that one nice. I was pretty confident in this fight, and rightfully so, because I did pretty good. Like, I got lots of parries in. I avoided lots of attacks. I don't think I got hit by the swords at all. That dash attack, I finally knocked it down. Keep screwing that up. I think I nailed that eventually. Whew. Man, sorry about silence. Man, this fight is just so fun. I remember when I first saw it, I was like, okay, I can't wait to get to that. And then I fought him. I parried that one finally. Parried that. Oh man, look at the parries. And since it's a KO shield, it stuns them when you parry. And here's that. One flask charge. That's pretty good. And now there's only 2 areas left. The castle and the throne room. Man, the castle. Oh, cold. Castle is pretty stressful. Oh. Excuse me. And then here's the improved KO shield. And I'm like, should I take it? I have extra damage reduction. But I like that critical hit thing. Even though I couldn't figure out what it was. But from now on, every time I take a KO shield, it will be plus. And God, the music here is awesome. Yeah, so the music in the castle is kind of like a mix of a lot of the songs in the game, which is kind of funny because it seems like it'd be an end level, and I think they might change it around so it is an end level. A little secret there. I was confused about it. When the full release is out and they have all the levels and all the bosses and the lore update's coming soon. Can't wait to dive into that. Can't wait to dive attack into that. But yeah, that's gonna be good. But the castle, it just seems like an endgame area. And if you notice something about the enemies here, except for this guy. Yeah, this guy is pretty rough. So this thing is a thorny, and you can't melee strike him from behind unless you take damage. So I got hit once in this fight, so I had that little one above my head. And I'm still not used to not having a triple jump, so that bugged me for a lot of this fight. I was saying something. I forgot. Oh yeah, the little one above my head. So it's like, I forget what it's called, but it's basically this ridiculous poison damage. And it really doesn't go away, and it takes like 5 seconds, and then poof, you're dead. So the heart is nice, and if you take like 5, 6 of those, you have to get more castle keys. If you take some more of those, you are screwed because it kills you, and then rip run. But I only think I took one. I think the next guy I fight to get a key, I don't think he hits me once. But I guess we're gonna find out. There I am, approaching 9,000 health. I think I might hit over 9,000. Just like Goku did. Sorry. Oh god, I hate the catchers. But he had a scroll. And the reason why I don't go into that room there... Yeah. Wow, almost 10,000. The reason I don't go into that room there is just because it, the elite in there you have to fight is really rough. So here I'm debating a broadsword, and then I do a stock change, and then 3 great weapons appear. And I didn't have money for it, but money's pretty easily gained. Especially 6,000 gold, that's chump change. So I just do some comparisons, and I'm like, what should I pick up? And I'm really debating spear or balance blade, because I haven't shown you, spear's called the Impaler, by the way, I haven't shown you that yet. And I haven't used it in a long time either. That was the first time it showed up in like 3 or 4 runs. And considering I've been having long runs, like hour long. It's a long time, especially if you do like a run a day or two, maybe. This weekend I plan to play more Dead Cells though, and get more runs in. Hopefully unlock new weapons, mutations, and maybe do some Slay the Spire. Slay the Spire is a lot less focus intensive, I guess. You just have to be a lot more observant in Slay the Spire of what cards you have, what they can do to each other, you know, what effects they have, synergies. And synergies are a big thing in roguelites. I was confused about that terrain gem there. And then crappy lightning bolt. So I don't like lightning bolt. It doesn't do as much damage as I like. Okay, so that green area I went into earlier, that's like the botany lab. The red one is like the mortuary. I did not come up with these names, by the way, but they're not technically official. And this area is like the alchemic lab. See all those pots everywhere. And here's the next fight, and I just decided to get a health flask. This fight is ridiculous. Just I don't get hit once. He doesn't even swing once. And if I said something earlier about the enemies, if you notice, all enemies except the guy who shoots the little bolt, he's the Inquisitor. All enemies except him have like that hole in their face. The Catcher has it. That spear guy, I forget his name, he has it. And then the Guardian Knight, they get guy carrying the big sword who spins in a circle. He has it. And there's the entrance to that botany lab there. And then I think, oh wait, I have that weapon to get. Do I have to kill him first? God, look how tanky they are compared to other guys. So I'm like, oh yeah, Impaler, that looks awesome. Stun target, that's pretty good. But then I'm thinking, Balance Blade, it's also pretty good. It's a bit more expensive. 17 damage on the Impaler. And just, eventually, you see I picked Balance Blade because it does a bit more damage. And the crit, I would take it if it was a different boss. But since this arena is so odd, there's another door, there's stuff behind it, blueprint and scroll tower. But since this room of this boss is so different, I decided Impaler wouldn't be good enough, and I think Balance Blade still attacks a bit faster than the Impaler, even though it does attack really fast, and you do have good range, because it's a spear. So I'm kind of psyching myself up here, because I hadn't beaten the boss yet. I just look at my gear, it's pretty good. I have a very good Ice Grenade Crusher mix, and 175% of my current damage on top of the however much it does. So that's what, 2,700 damage roughly on a Crusher hit on a frozen enemy. That's really good if I did my percentage math right. And then here it is, the big boy himself, the Hand of the King. Take a deep breath, and time to get super stressed. And so immediately I get knocked in that trap, and there's this grenade spam. So this is a tough fight for sure. There is different difficulties in the game, and I just decided to roll past that. And it took me 3 tries to beat him on easy difficulty. And there's 4 more after this. And I've unlocked the first one, finally. But God, I don't even want to imagine what 4th will be. I mean, I've seen people defeat this guy in 4-cell difficulty, that's what it's called. But they're much more experienced than I am. But, I mean, I certainly made mistakes in this fight, but I had a pretty good setup. You can see I hopped out of that pit before I got knocked into it. I mean, the setup worked. A Balance Blade, a weapon I used to hate. I used it to kill the boss. That doesn't happen. And you can just see like how much damage he does immediately. He does hundreds with a hit. And then I'm doing with his health bar. I'm doing not even close as much. I'm finally at half health. I still don't quite get the hitboxes. I get it for the grenades, but like his ground pound that he does, I don't know. And I still don't know what those banners do if you don't destroy them, because I've always destroyed them. Get knocked off there by that zombie, and then I think I heal after I kill this elite. Yep. And then I go for the ugly worm. I'm not dissing him, alright, just his name. He's got a little aura around him so he doesn't take damage. And then you get into phase 4 of the fight, 5. And it gets pretty rough. I'm out of health flasks. I was almost, like, certain at this point, I am certain that my heart is going to activate, that I'm going to die, and the heart's going to activate, and it won't be a legit run. At least, you know, in my eyes. But I start going for the dodges more, and the parries. I really take that into account. I go for damage stacking with poison. I mean, look how much the poison is doing. Hundreds of damage a second. Huge ground pound. 4,000 health left for me. Probably less for him. Actually, no. He had like 10,000. 2007. 1,500. It's rough. And then I do it. And I get the symmetrical lance. And then my first boss sword cell. I was very satisfied. And I get 3 Steam achievements from this. And here's my little celebration there. 693 health left. I was that close to losing the heart. And then I think I get the last achievement here. So this area is just the ending area that's been around since the start of the game. And we're still curious about it. But now we can go into the forge and upgrade stuff with our final cells. And I just choose not to. And I invest in symmetrical lance there. I cannot wait to use that. And then I just invest the rest. See, 4 cells left, so I'll get that next run. There's a little screenshot. Very satisfying. And here's the last area. So, good game. Good run. Definitely more to come. There's the achievement. And what that is completing the run without using the heart, having the heart go off. And I didn't even know it was an achievement. So, yay me. Alright, so that's about it for the recording. You see me, sorry about that shift there. You see me go activate my first boss or cell. So I can upgrade my weapons to the next level. And I can unlock the next boss or cell, which is level 2, and then 3, and then 4, and they don't have 5 yet. So, I think that's about it for this video. Thank you all for watching, and have a good day. Because, I don't know, good night, too. Fuck you guys.